Hello everyone, welcome to another show of the Dev Method. So if you haven't looked at Python before, it could be a new language for you. Getting started, maybe as a programmer, maybe just as the language itself. Maybe you're looking into getting into AI and machine learning. This is actually going to be a really great language for you to learn. I think it's one of my go-to languages when I'm trying to express something programmatically and I just need something really quickly to get something done. So one of the things that I want to share with you today is how to read a JSON file with Python, put it into a list, and then also put it into a set, and we'll talk about maybe some of the differences between those. And let's see where we end up after that. So if you take a look at my files, I have just a main.py file, just what I wanted to call it. And then I have a JSON file. This actually has thousands of UUIDs. So UUID is a unique ID, universally unique identifier. And the idea here is that I'm going to create a list of those and then print out the first one, the second one. So let's just take a look at how to do that. And the first thing I'm going to do is just make sure I can run the Python file without any obstruction. And in terminal, I can just say Python and then the file name. So in this case, main.py, hello from Python. So the next thing to do is get that file, and actually, let's see if we could print that out. So I'll say the test JSON, and we'll say file, whoops, not file, open, and then the name of the file, so test.json. So the next part here, now that we get an idea that everything's working as we need, the last bit is once you open something, if you want to be a respectful Python programmer, you're going to then close the file, okay? So I'll just run this now just to show you everything's working as expected. There it is. So with this, I just wanted to point out that in order to get this processed, we need to do a read operation. So I'll call this the JSON, and we'll do the test JSON.read, okay? There we go. But from here, I'm going to print out this, but I'm going to do it as the type of the JSON. There's a lot of common types, and in this case, we opened up a file that's like its own type. And then here, let's actually see what kind of type this is. Boom, str stands for string. So it's a string type. That's what this does, reads it. Now the next thing is to actually convert it to JSON. But what I like to do in a lot of my files before I start anything is I say print, and I say start, and then at the end I say print and end. That way I know where my program starts and ends. So here we got nothing else going on in between. The other thing I like to do is mark up my file with some comments. So I do a hash for that, or a pound. So that stuff doesn't get run in Python. And in this case, the next thing I want to do, since it's a string, is I want to count all the elements in our JSON array. But because it's a string, we don't really have any interpretation as to like what that string is for. So we're going to have to inform Python that we're expecting JSON. Because if I was to do a for loop, so for I in the JSON, right? Let me just like print out the first thing. I'll say print type of I, and then I'll just breaks out of the for loop, so it's only going to go through once, and then we're done. So let's see what that does for us. Type string. Let's actually see what that is. Right? There it is. It's actually just that first character, which is kind of crazy, right? Let me print all of them out, just so you can see each line what it's actually printing out. So I went through it really quickly, but this is every single character in that string. So that's what this is doing here. So that's not totally what we want. We want every single string in this JSON array. So how do we tell Python that this is JSON and that we want to iterate through all the items in the JSON? The way we do that, and we usually put it right here at the top, we import a library. And there's actually a JSON module library already included in Python. It's pretty sweet. So that's what we're doing here. I'm just going to see what the length of the JSON array is. So in that case, let's just first say, what is the length of the string? So the length of the string is, whoa, big amount, 120,003. So that's how many characters are in this string. That's not how many things we put in the array. So if you remember from the bash script I ran earlier, that was saying it's 3,000, right? So I'm actually going to interpret this as JSON. So I'm going to say, the JSON str string, right? And now I'm going to say interpret, nope, spelled that wrong. Make into JSON. Okay, so let's see this. What do we call it? Output? Output? Is that a good name for it? I don't know, names are tough. So let's say the output equals JSON, because that's our module, dot, because we're going to use one of the functions in there, in the module, and we're actually doing loads. And all we have to do, the very first thing that's in there, is give it the JSON string. Crazy. So now from that, let's see what we get. So let's just print out output. Very cool. Whoa! All right, so that is our whole array. Now let's see what the type of it is. Type of output. And run it. List. It was a list of stuff. So in JSON, we usually call this an array. But in Python, they call it a list. So how do we get the length of a list? Well, we do len, right? Call it as a function on the output. And let's see what the length of it is. Aha, 3,000, just like our bash script told us. Very, very cool. So with this, that is our list. That's how we get things from it. Now let's just say I wanted to add something new to the list. So I'll say, and then we do output.append. Let's put, I don't know, a number in there, because why not? So we're going to take this, has 3,000 elements in it. We're going to add one more, so we should see 3001 printed right after append. Boom. There we go. So that's the whole idea. Now, in this case, if you look at our JSON file, we will not see 99 in there. Take a wild guess as to why. Well, when we're calling file, the read method, it is copying all that data into a string for us. So that's actually running in our script only, nowhere else. So any modifications we make to that string from that point on, not part of the file. So in this case, the append added one more thing, but it's not saved in the actual file. See, if I go to the end of the file, I don't see a 99 there. Yeah, pretty crazy. So with that, I just wanted to print out the JSON, right? Just a quick look again. Okay, here we are, back again, printing out the JSON. We counted how many elements are in that array. Now here's the thing. That's a list. We can add stuff to it, right? So let's say we wanted to add something to the list, check the counts, and see how it goes up. So append. 99, output dot append 99. So we added 2 more elements to it. Let's go ahead and see what this is for the length. There we go, 2002. Or I'm sorry, 3002, off by 1,000. Seems like a huge mistake. And there it is again, another append, so that's going to be 3003, right? So check this out. Let's talk about a different structure. Now, all of these things in here are unique, right? Unique IDs. This here, this append that we have, let's say we wanted to add 99 to this list multiple times, and for whatever reason, because we're new to programming, we know that this has to be a unique list, and we don't necessarily have a way to like double check for duplicates. So what do we use besides a list? Well, for some of these simple types like the number or like a floating point number, decimals, maybe something like a string, we could actually use a different collection, which is called a set. So this is the output, right? And I'm going to call this unique output. So we do set, and then we give it the output, right? This will be the unique output. Okay. Let's just look at the length of this. So the length of the unique output, right? All right, cool. Now, since this is a set, we don't really have like a append, but we have an add, right? And you can see here it's saying add an element to the set. So let's add 99. Now the length should be, yep, you guessed it, 3001. Boom, 3001. Now what happens when we add this same value again? Any guesses? Well, I've been stringing you along this much, so I will just show you the results. It's actually 3001. So why is this helpful? There's a million different ways that we can slice and dice data, right? I'm exaggerating by a million, but in a lot of instances, there are databases that keep records, and these records have some sort of ID to them that are unique in the entire database, sometimes just the table that it's located in. So this idea of uniqueness, once you can safely make that assumption, this idea of uniqueness is actually really powerful, and the set is what really helps you with that. So in doing this, let's just test a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate some of our UUIDs. These UUIDs, I don't know, let's put them in here, right? Let's put them over here as well. Whoa, got a twofer there. So let's go ahead and say print len of list. So what is the length of the list? Output, okay. Now let's say what is the length of the set? Okay. Do you guys think it'll be equal? Boom. So that's the power of using sets versus a list in Python. Learned a little bit about this import JSON, right? So import JSON, do some print statements to say you started, say you ended. Pretty cool, right? And then you have here, open the file, and just like every good programmer, you want to clean up your system after you're done, so that's why you have to close, right? There are better ways to do that. If you know a better way, put it in the comments or ask me to make a video about it. I'll do that for you. And then we have here JSON, which is our module. We load that file, makes it into some sort of structure that Python understands. We have the output of the list, right? It's got some dupes though, so that's why we put it into a set. Then we're all good to go. We know the true unique count. of all these IDs, print that out, and we're done. So if you like this video, I recommend taking a look at some of the past videos. If you want more videos like Python, or maybe getting started in programming, maybe slicing up some files, let me know in the comments below. I can definitely accommodate for you guys. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Or if you're looking at my computer screen, have a good night.